Another semi-final for Manchester United under Ollie, and another sob story. It was a close encounter with City, but I felt City were just a little bit sharper and accurate in what they wanted to do. On the whiteboard, I'll be looking at several tactical facets of the game that overlapped. Let's go straight to the whiteboard. It was the tactical flexibility of Cancelo that pulled United's midfield about in the first half. Cancelo's starting position was out wide in his conventional right side position, but once Pogba picked him up, Cancelo would move infield into a virtual second pivot position alongside Fernandinho, and City became a three-man backline. Pogba would move infield with Cancelo, which opened up the right-hand side for City, which they attacked in two ways. The first being, Sterling stayed high up the pitch to hold short, and De Bruyne would move into the half space vacated by Cancelo and Pogba. Moving to screenshots of the game, you can see that Cancelo has taken up a central role, which has pulled Pogba across the pitch. Despite De Bruyne being on the left, he is making a crossfield run into the half space behind Pogba. De Bruyne gets on the ball centrally from Fernandinho. You can see the space that has opened up on City's right. De Bruyne switches the ball out to Sterling, continues his run into the half space, gets the ball back from Sterling and rattles the post with a great shot. In the next screenshot, the ball is on the left with Zinchenko. Cancelo is again taking up a central role, pulling Pogba away from United's left-hand side. The ball is switched out to Stones, and you can see De Bruyne has again snuck into the space vacated by Pogba and Cancelo, and Pogba has to work hard to get back at De Bruyne. The second way City would attack United's left-hand side was City centre-backs would stretch across the pitch. De Bruyne would push up the pitch into the half space, taking Fred with him. From here, Stones was very aggressive in stepping up the pitch, creating a huge overload on United's right-hand side. From this screenshot, you can see how City's back three are stretched across the pitch with Stones in United's half. Diaz plays the ball out to Stones, and from here, Pogba leaves Cancelo to engage Stones. Now City have the spare man in Cancelo. Stones plays the ball out to Sterling, and with Cancelo free, Fred leaves De Bruyne to close Cancelo down. Sterling plays the ball to Cancelo, with De Bruyne now the spare man. Cancelo plays the ball to De Bruyne. Maguire steps out of the defensive line to engage De Bruyne, with Cancelo continuing his run into the spacing behind United's defensive line. In a separate situation, from this single screenshot, you can see the overload City have created with Stones stepping up the pitch and De Bruyne in the half space, outnumbering United 3-2. Despite City pulling United about in the middle third, United's defending of central areas was very good. It started up front with Fernandes marking Fernandinho, stopping that entry point into midfield, but Fernandes was also the trigger for any high press. Whenever Fernandes and Martial pressed City centre-backs, it was done in a way where they maintained a shadow marking of Fernandinho, continuing that cut-off into Fernandinho from City centre-backs. Moving on to screenshots of the game, Fernandes has left Fernandinho to press Diaz. The angle he has pressed Diaz has created a shadow marking of Fernandinho because he is not a passing option for Diaz from this position. Diaz placed the ball out to Zinchenko, with Fernandes stepping back out to maintain the shadow marking of Fernandinho, cutting off that infield passing option for Zinchenko. Adding Rashford's press to the situation, it forces Zinchenko to hit the ball long and United get the ball back. Back to the whiteboard, with De Bruyne and Gundogan attacking the half space aggressively, City were open on the transition, with Fernandinho isolated in that single pivot role with space in front and either side of him for Fernandes and Pogba to exploit. United had a number of quick transitions where the ball was switched out to Rashford and he found himself in one-on-ones with Zinchenko. From this screenshot, you can see how aggressive De Bruyne and Gundogan are with their positioning on the pitch. Henderson clears the ball up to Pogba, who plays the ball onto Fred. From here, you can see the space around Fernandinho and the forward passing options Fred has. Fred plays a great switch out to Rashford, who has a one-on-one with Zinchenko, with spacing behind. We can also see how stretched Man City's backline is. Rashford drives infield, checks back out, and hits a good shot brilliantly blocked by Diaz. This is one of a number of incisive transitions from United, involving a switch out to Rashford. The Devils' verdict is, United were competitive, but City had that little bit more conviction and determination in their game. That was typified in the way City defended, especially set pieces compared to United. Despite going through the tactical nuances of the game, it was the bottom of the barrel basics that cost United. But despite the disappointment and the way we lost, Ollie shouldn't dwell on this. It's a huge month for United that could lay down the foundation for a great season. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the game, and please like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you soon for the Watford analysis.